I'm here raking the leaves under the Miracle Sisters chestnut tree because last night was a very cold night. Unfortunately, there was no frost yet, but maybe tonight. But it was cold enough and windy enough that the maples that are growing all around here have started dumping their leaves. So I've been raking the leaves while looking for chestnuts, and I had a thought with regards to the chestnut that I found in the last video. It was on the east side of the tree, and that's an area of the tree that is only just starting to develop because I took down a swamp maple that was growing right beside the tree on the east side a few years ago. And now the chestnut is sending out branches in that new patch of clear sky there. And so I haven't really been looking in that part for nuts because for so many years before, there were no branches there. There was nothing to look for. And so as I was clearing that area, I thought I should look a little further. And so as I piled the leaves up on the edge of the area that I'm clearing, I just swept through the leaves that are there from last year. And my heart broke when I found a chestnut from last year that had fallen there and I didn't pick it up. And because of the leaves that I pile up all around the area that I'm clearing, none of the animals found it either, which shocks me. I'm really shocked to find a large viable chestnut that no rodent found for the whole year. It breaks my heart. So I thought I would share this information in case there's another human somewhere else in North America actually doing this same thing that I'm doing, which I doubt, but who knows. So keep in mind that this nut also was quite far from the base of the tree, probably about, say, 20 feet. And even now the largest branch doesn't reach out that far. Pretty close now, but last year, definitely not. And the thing is, this is a bit of a slope here, right? I'm sure I've mentioned it in many videos before, but chestnuts love to grow near a slope. They like to have 1 foot wet, 1 foot dry. In this case, 1 foot wet and 1 foot dry. And that facilitates it, where 1 foot is up high and 1 foot reaches down low. And so that nut would have fallen and bounced and moved quite a distance. So when you're looking, make sure that you're not just looking straight below the reach of the branches, because they could bounce and go a little way. In this case, probably an extra 6 feet or so beyond where the branch was. One other thing before I let you go. Oh, actually two. One is note that that nut was a bookend. So it came from a very successful husk that had at least 2 viable nuts in it. Because I'm 100% positive that if there's only 1 viable nut in a husk, it's going to be the center one, and the bookend ones come later. And that actually is, now that I think about it, that's reinforced by my history of the nuts that I have harvested and sprouted, the overwhelming majority of them are center nuts. You can tell by looking at the base of the nut. First of all, you should be able to tell just by the shape of the nut that it'll be flat on one side and bulbous on the other. That tells you right away that it's a bookend. And the other is the actual footprint at the base of it. You can see by the shape of the one that I found from last year that tells you that it was a bookend. So the other thing is with regard to raking, obviously you have to rake to be able to find any nuts that fell, because if they're in a pile of leaves, you'll never find them. So it's important not to rake the same way that you would rake your yard. Don't just start in the middle of it and move the whole pile, because you could pick up a nut on the way and you'll never know, because it'll be immediately lost in the increasingly large pile of leaves. So what I like to do is you wind up with, obviously you have to start somewhere, start close to the edge of your area and then just move out. And then hear that? Those are gunshots from hunters. It's deer season. Less animals to steal the nuts. Anyways, I wish that were true, but they'll never put a dent in the deer population. So as you go, just keep following the edge that you've created, and don't just do that. Don't go down the line. Drag away from the edge, just say 1 meter, a few feet. And that way you can see as you're doing it if you've got any nuts. So you have to be very slow and careful and look closely as you're doing it to make sure that you didn't miss any nuts. And then once you've gone down the whole line, then you can just drag the whole thing down, because you know that there are no nuts in there. On that note, I've got to let you go because I've got to finish this and I've got 1,000 other things to do. It's that time of year. I regret to announce that I will no longer be able to parse and respond to comments simply because they are becoming too numerous, and unfortunately, there's just too many negative comments. But maybe someday this channel will grow to the point where there could be someone to act as moderator. But until then, I wish you all the best.